Welcome to Value Line's online training series regarding our new digital platform. This presentation will focus on how to use the advanced charting application, which is found within the digital report. To access a digital report, you can simply come up to the top of the screen, top right-hand corner, click in the white box, and start typing a ticker or company name, and then click on the company when it comes up. Once that company is loaded, you can then have different modules, one of which would be the advanced charting. If you don't have charting available, please go to the right-hand side, choose charting, and then the charting application will appear at the bottom of the digital report. To maximize this application, simply click on the button on the right-hand side and uploads the advanced chart. In this case, we're going to do a chart on Goldman Sachs. What's nice about the charting feature is Value Line's added a lot of indicators, which will allow you to use some of our proprietary data, as well as fundamentals, trend, momentum, and volume analysis. It's important to note, based on your level of subscription, you may or may not have access to all indicators. For purposes of this presentation, we are looking at a chart for our professional users who have access to all indicators. If we go to fundamentals, for example, or trend, or momentum, you'll see all the indicators available show up. The most important ones you probably want to take note of are those under show events, which are the Value Line proprietary indicators, such as our rank change, research notes, commentary, dividend paid, earnings announcement, split, and market events. But before we get into indicators, let's just see how we navigate the chart. Up top, we have the ability to change between 1 day, 5 day, 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year, and maximum amount we go back. To change those, simply click on the button and it will adjust the date accordingly. We could also put in a custom date range if we'd like by simply coming here and clicking on the dates we'd like to see. Save. And now I'm looking at a custom date range. By clicking on the Value Line chart, it takes us to the traditional chart that you may be used to seeing on the PDF version. Please note the ability to download data is available for professional subscribers, so based on your subscription you may or may not see this feature. But if I X out that Value Line chart, I return to the new digital advanced charting application. If I click on Value Line projections, it will bring me to Value Line's 3 to 5 year projections for Goldman Sachs. By Xing out of that screen, it now returns me back to the charting application. By moving the mouse along the line, I can see different information that changes as we go. I can come into then the add indicators, as I mentioned at the beginning of this presentation, and we could add on things such as rank change, and now I can plot on my chart to see when the ranks have changed. Here I have 2 positions on my specific chart. If I change from my custom settings to a 3-year setting, you'll see the changes over the course of 3 years. If I X out where it says show rank changes and then reset my graph to its original settings, I can then go back to add indicators, add things like Bollinger Bands, and I can put additional indicators on as well. I can clear these out by clicking on the X for the corresponding category, and again going back to the original settings. Under Access Tools, we can change our chart style from mountain to candlestick, for example, or from candlestick to line. We could also use trend lines, which by placing your mouse in a specific position, holding down the left button and dragging across the screen, we can create trend lines. And again, moving along that line, we'll switch the information on top. We can turn trend lines off by going back to trend lines off to remove that line. Other tools we can do are change the cursor display from a line to a cross line, change the scale from linear to logarithmic, and look at the frequency. Instead of weekly, we can switch to daily. For the custom chart feature, we can also add comparisons. You could add the value line composite, and now I'm looking at Goldman Sachs versus the value line composite, which is in gray. That's indicated right here, which will show us the comparative company or indice or index versus our primary company we're charting. I could change this to the Dow Jones Industrial Average or add the Dow Jones Industrial Average to have multiple comparisons on one chart. To remove a comparison, simply click the X and it will remove the comparison. I could chart against another security by simply coming down to the box below, add a security, choosing one of my frequently or recently looked at companies, or perhaps putting in a ticker from scratch, and now I'm comparing Disney, the Dow Jones Industrial Average versus Goldman Sachs, indicated by the color of the line. If my scriptions allows, I can save charts by clicking on Save Settings, giving this a name, clicking on Save, and now I've saved this chart, which I could use in future reference. I can print this chart simply by clicking the Print button, and then when I'm completely done with charting, I can X out of the application, which will return me to the digital report. So in review, it's important to note that if the advanced charting module is not shown when you access a digital report, simply come to the right-hand side, make sure that charting is listed under your available modules and not under the hidden. If it is under hidden, just simply click on it and we'll move it to make it available. That will conclude the presentation on the advanced charting feature, again found within the digital report. If you need further information, you can go to www.valueline.com or www.valuelinepro.com for our library and professional customers to find contact information and other useful information as well.